Okay, today we'll do variation in periodic properties of elements in a periodic table. This is only the last part, and the previous part you have already done in class 9, and in class 9 you have to do only modern periodic table. You don't have to do Mendeleev periodic table for class 10 ICSE. So you can go through that class 9 part periodic table portion, only the modern periodic table portion, to know to remember all the backgrounds of periodic table. But I am directly today explaining you about the variation in periodic properties. That means how the properties changes in a periodic table across a period or down the group. And especially today we'll talk about these four properties. First of all, we should know about this. Now, first is atomic size. Now, atomic size means it is the distance between the center of the atom, that means the center of the nucleus, to the outermost shell. So, to the outermost shell. So, suppose this is the third shell, is the outermost shell. Then this radius or this size, you can say it is the atomic size. So, atomic size means it is the distance from the center of the nucleus of an atom to the outermost shell, and that is called atomic size. Its unit is angstrom. Generally we measure in angstrom, and that 1 angstrom actually means 10 to the power minus 10 meter. It's given in your book, you can understand. So that is the unit of atomic size, and that is atomic size. Now next is ionization potential. Ionization potential, also known as ionization energy. Now what is ionization potential? Now it is the amount of energy required by an atom to remove an electron from its outermost shell to become a positive ions. In atomic structure, now in the nucleus you have neutron and proton. This neutron is neutral charge and proton is positive charge, and hence the nuclear charge is positive. And then we have shells or orbits in which electrons are present, and these electrons are bounded by this nuclear charge. This nuclear is having a positive charge and electrons are having negative charge, so they are bound by these charges. So if this atom has to lose electron, then it has to absorb some energy so that it can break this binding force, and then it can get out, because there is a binding force. So to remove an electron, some energy has to be given, some energy has to be supplied to this electron, so that this electron absorbs some excess energy, and therefore this bonding is broken, and now the electron can get out. So this energy absorbed by an atom to remove an electron to become a positive charge ion is called ionization potential. Now it's generally measured in electron volt per atom, or kilojoule. SI unit is kilojoule per mole. So this is the SI unit, and the commonly we measure in electron volt per atom, and SI unit is kilojoule per mole. So that means you can understand that it is the amount of energy required by an atom to remove an electron to convert into an to convert into an ion. Now for example, this is an atom. Now it will absorb energy to remove electron, one electron suppose. So this energy that will be absorbed is called ionization potential. So this is the neutral atom. So this is neutral. It will absorb energy, that's known as ionization potential, and then when it absorbs energy, this atom will lose electron, and hence that will become positive ion and electron will be released. So this is, you can summarize. So this was the neutral atom, it absorbs this much energy, and then this, now it can break this bond, and now the electron can get out. So electron is released. Now when this electron is released, this atom become positive ion, and the energy and this is the electron released, and this is the energy absorbed, and that is called ionization potential. So understand? So that means ionization potential means finally it is the amount of energy absorbed by an atom to release an electron to convert into a positive ion. Okay. Now next is electron affinity. Now from ionization potential, if you remember that what was ionization potential, that this is the nucleus and this is the electron in the outermost shell. Nucleus is positive charge, so there is some bond of attraction, and if this atom has to lose electron, this atom will absorb energy. It will absorb energy to release this electron. So this absorb energy is known as ionization potential. So that means to remove an electron, energy has to be absorbed. Now if we do the reverse, now if electron is added to it, when electron is added to it, this atom will release energy, is it not? Because when we want to remove an electron, the atom absorbs energy. So for removing electron, the atom absorbs energy. And when an extra electron is added to it, the atom releases some energy, and that is known as electron affinity. So you can see it is just the reverse of ionization potential. It is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to it. When an electron is added to an atom to convert into a negative ions. For example, you can show it this way, that this is a neutral atom, and when this neutral atom releases an electron, when an electron is added to it, it becomes negative, and then it releases some energy. It also releases energy, and this released energy is known as electron affinity. So you can say that electron affinity means it is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to an atom. So that's electron affinity. Okay, and in this case also the SI unit is same as ionization potential. Common unit is electron volt per atom, and SI unit is kilojoule per mole. So that's the unit of this. Okay. Now next is electronegativity. Now electronegativity is a tendency. It's a tendency of an atom to attract electron towards itself. It's a tendency of an atom to attract electron towards itself. Now, say non-metals have a greater tendency to attract electrons, and while a metal have a lesser tendency. So therefore, we can say non-metals are highly electronegative, and as you know, metals are electropositive. So this tendency of an atom to attract electron towards itself, and that is known as electronegativity. Now it's just a tendency, so it's not an actual measurement. So therefore, it is just a tendency, and therefore it does not have any unit. It is measured in a scale called Pauling scale, but it does not have any unit. It just explains about the tendency of an atom, that how better it can attract an electron or not. So that tendency is called electronegativity. So that is about electronegativity. Okay. Now all these three, this ionization potential, electron affinity and electronegativity, they all depend on these two factors. The first factor is their atomic size, and the second factor they depend is nuclear charge. Now all these three actually depends on these two factors, their atomic size of an atom and nuclear charge. Now we can understand one by one. Now how ionization potential depends on atomic size and nuclear charge. Again, remember, if you just go back to the definition of ionization potential means it is the amount of energy required by an atom, absorbed by an atom, the energy required by an atom to remove an electron from a neutral atom. So naturally, you can understand, greater the atomic size, less energy will be required. Less energy will be required to remove the atom. Now try to understand. Now this is one. Now you see here, this is atom 1, the first atom. And if you see, this is the second atom, the greater size. And this nucleus is positive, this nucleus is positive, and this is the electron, and this is the electron. So you can understand, in this case you require more energy to remove this electron because it is more closer. Because it is more closer to the nucleus, which is positive charge. So you require more energy. So more energy has to be absorbed, and then only it can release. But in this case, it is the distance is greater. So this attractive force is less. So less energy is required by this atom to remove this electron. What understand? So that's ionization potential, the amount of energy required to remove an electron. So if the atomic size is smaller, then more energy will be required because the attractive force between the nucleus and the electrons is more. So therefore more energy will be required to remove this electron from this atom. So therefore we can say ionization potential depends on atomic size, and we can say that smaller the atomic size, more is the ionization potential, and vice versa. Now similarly, in case of electron affinity also, you can understand that if more energy is required to remove an electron from an atom, then when electron is added to it, then more energy will be released. So if this atom, say it requires X electron volt to remove this electron from this to this. So therefore I say its ionization potential is X. Now if I add this electron to this shell, then it will release same X electron volt of energy. So therefore, if the energy required is high for releasing an electron, then when that electron will be added to it, the energy released will also be high. So therefore, in case of electron affinity also, this electron affinity also depends upon atomic size and nuclear charge. For example, higher, if the ionization potential is higher, then electron affinity is also higher, because ionization potential higher means it requires more energy to remove an electron, and similarly when that electron will be added, it will release more energy. So hence, like ionization potential depends on atomic size, electron affinity is also depending on atomic size. Similarly, ionization potential naturally depends upon the nuclear charge. You can understand, higher the nuclear charge, more will be the ionization potential, and similarly higher the nuclear charge, more will be the electron affinity. Same, third also, electronegativity also depend upon the atomic size. Electronegativity means the tendency of an atom to attract electron. Towards itself. So, you can see that the greater the atomic size, the tendency of attracting electron is less. Because that outermost shell is at a farther distance from the nucleus. Nucleus is positive. So you can say that this atom has a greater tendency to attract electron, and this atom has a lesser tendency to attract electron because its atomic size is more. So if the bigger the atomic size, larger is the atomic size, lesser is the electronegativity. Okay. Similarly, nuclear charge, you can understand that higher the nuclear charge, greater will be the electronegativity, because it will have a greater tendency to attract electron towards itself. Okay, understand? Okay, now we'll understand about the variation in periodic properties. And in a periodic table there are 18 groups, group 1 to 18, where group 1 is known as alkali metal, 2 is known as alkaline earth metal, 17 is known as halogens, and 18, or we can also say 0 group, and that is noble gas. So that you have already done it. And these are and there are 7 periods, 1 to 7. But before understanding the variation in periodic property, the first thing we should do, that we should understand the metallic and non-metallic trends in a periodic table. So when we understand that, the remaining parts become easy. Now as you go from left to right, the non-metallic character increases, and as you go from top to bottom, the metallic character increases. Now non-metallic character increases. Why? When you have somebody in group 1, that means it has 1 electron in the outermost shell, so that means it is a metal. 2 means it has 2 electron in the outermost shell, then that means it is a metal. 3 means 3 electrons in the outermost shell, it is a metal. 4 means 4 electron in the outermost shell, it's a non-metal or metalloid. And then 5, 6, so you can understand, as you go from left to right, the metallic character is decreasing and non-metallic character is increasing. Similarly, when you go from top to bottom down the group, then in that case the metallic character increases. Now metallic character increases, you can understand in this way that period 1 means 1 shell, period 2 means 2 shell, period 3 means 3 shells, because the number of shells gives us the period. So you can see as we are going down, the number of shell is increasing, that means the atomic size is increasing. And if the atomic size increases, then the tendency to lose electron also increases, because the atomic size is increasing. So the nuclear charge, the attractive charge is also decreasing. So therefore the electrons are lost easily. And in an atom, if the electrons are lost easily, then generally it is a metal. So therefore we can say that as we go from top to bottom, the metallic character increases, and left to right across a period, the metallic character decreases, non-metallic character increases. And in case of atomic size, first we have done metallic character. Second we will do atomic size now. Atomic size, this one you understand that as we go from top to bottom down the group, the atomic size increases, because it is due to the increasing number of shells. But as we go from left to right, although the number of shells remains same, but still the atomic size decreases. It is due to the it is due to increase in nuclear charge. Try to understand period 3. Suppose period 3 means what? They have 3 shells. So this is 3 shells. The next one will also have 3 shells. The next one will also have 3 shells. The next one will also have 3 shells. So next one will also have 3 shells. But you see, the size is decreasing. Why the size is decreasing? Although the number of shells remains same, but still as we go from left to right in a periodic table, the atomic size decreases. Now why the atomic size is decreasing? It is due to the increase in the nuclear charge. You can understand the number of proton is increasing, because the atomic number is increasing from left to right. So if the number of proton is increasing, that means the positive charge is also increasing. So when this positive charge increases, it increases and increases and increases. It attracts the outermost shell electrons more closer to it, and hence the atomic size keeps on decreasing as we go from left to right. So that's about atomic size. What understand? So if you understood this metallic character and atomic size, now you can understand the trends in properties of ionization potential and electron affinity and electronegativity. So similarly, as we go from left to right, now metals can easily lose electron, and non-metals, they gain electron. And now that means, if it is a metal and if it is a non-metal, a metal easily loses electron from its outermost shell, but non-metal not as easily, because the ionization potential of metal is less. So that means since it can lose easily, that means it requires, the outermost shell electrons requires less energy to remove electron. So therefore you can see that the ionization potential of metals are less, and ionization potential of non-metals are more. And you can also understand by the atomic size also, since the atomic size is decreasing from left to right, so naturally the ionization potential will increase from left to right, because now it's getting closer and closer to the nucleus, so more energy will be required to remove an electron from the atom. Understand? So hence when we go from left to right in a periodic table, the ionization potential decreases. So ionization potential decreases in left to right, and the ionization potential will, not decreases, I told increases, in fact, and when you go from top to bottom, it decreases. So that means you can say summarize as that metals have less ionization potential because less energy is required to remove electron, they can easily lose electron, and non-metals have more ionization potential. And as we go from left to right, the ionization potential increases because you can also say that because the atomic size is also decreasing, hence the ionization potential is decreasing. And as we go from top to bottom, so from left to right, the ionization potential is increasing, and when you go from top to bottom, the ionization potential will decrease. The ionization potential will decrease because you can understand the atomic size is increasing. So less energy will be required as you go from down to down. Less energy will be required. So that's about ionization potential. Similarly, in case of electron affinity also, I've told you that if a atom has a higher electron ionization potential, then it has a higher electron affinity. So therefore, as we go from left to right, the electron affinity also increases. Electron affinity is also increases, and as we go from top to bottom, the electron affinity decreases because from metal to non-metal. So non-metal having higher electron affinity and metals having lower electron affinity. Similarly, the last one is electronegativity. Same thing, electronegativity also, metals are electropositive, non-metals are electronegative. Non-metals have a greater tendency to attract electron towards itself, and hence as we go from left to right, the electronegativity increases from left to right. You can also explain that as we go from left to right, the atomic size is decreasing, and since the atomic size is decreasing, the tendency of the atom to attract electron is also increasing, and hence the electronegativity is also increasing. So therefore we can say that as we go from left to right, the electronegativity increases, and as we go from top to bottom in a group, the electronegativity decreases. Okay.